In today's Consumer Alert, a new study shares that more women than men get shut out from salary raises in response to inflation. Joining us now is finance expert from Axiom Value, Momodou Bojang, with top tips to be more financially secure. Momodou, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Janet. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be back. You know, I think a lot of folks probably wouldn't be surprised by this, given that men typically make more than women for the same job. So we know about those inequalities. But what's going on here specifically? This is negotiations, even as we are experiencing inflation.
Yeah, Janet, it's a great question. I mean, although in these economic times, I would tell you, I don't know whether there's anyone out there who is not struggling with keeping pace with inflation. The reason why women's salaries or wages are not keeping pace with inflation is because inflation is definitely high. If you think about the Bureau of Labor Statistics, for this year, saying the average annual pay raise is about 4.6, which is nowhere close to what we have seen the historical inflation rate of 9.1 that we saw in June. But that being said, also, we know that women tend to adjust in time with inflation. They tend to look at their spending patterns and then be able to make adjustments maybe go to a different grocery store, look at different prices, or even cancel their subscriptions out there. But also, it's a great time for you to actually meet with your manager and really demand in terms of getting a salary increase. If you don't get that, maybe look at it and have that conversation to say, well, what can I do to get an expanded job so that you can get a pay increase? And believe it or not, it might not feel that, this is not a great market, but it's really a great market to actually go out there and look for a better job, a high paying job.
Yeah, I wonder if that has to do with the fact that employees now, because there appears to be a shortage, employees have a little bit more leverage. So you're saying use that to your advantage?
Yeah, absolutely. Use that to your advantage. Talk to your manager, look for expanded roles, right? Because they need those employees. So definitely, if you have that conversation, the chances are they're probably going to look at it. Number one, they look at you as, okay, you care about your job, so you wanted to step in and then get a better make production out there. So therefore, that will lead into probably a better pay increase for you.
Absolutely. Anything else women can do just to address that larger gap, right? If you see someone, if you know that you're experienced, sometimes over-experienced, any tips that you can pass along there in the last 30 seconds that we have now?
Yeah, so in addition to those cost savings methods that I mentioned earlier, women can take control of their finances, right? They can save for emergencies, right? Save for emergency. You want to make sure that at least you have 3 or 6 months worth of emergency savings in your bank account. That way, if you need it, you can go back and use that. But make sure when you use that, please go back and replenish again. Build your retirement. Make sure that you look at your retirement plan. Make sure that you're actually increasing your contributions to your retirement plan. A lot of times people tend to put a lower contribution. They're not even bringing in all the income from their employer, meaning that taking all the matching. So you want to increase that. And also strategize your Social Security. Social Security is a huge part of people's wealth in terms of their income also. So you want to make sure that you do have that strategy, making sure that you know exactly when you want to take Social Security and when not to take Social Security, because it's a huge part of your retirement income. Yeah.
Some great tips that apply really anytime, but especially now as we're experiencing these higher costs. Finance expert from Axiom Value, Momodou Bojang, thanks for joining us again. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
All right.